Hello people, so yeah, this is gonna be another one. As you can see, this is front sprocket. Yeah, finally sourced it. So let me just open that sprocket cover and let's see. So 8 number socket, let me open this. So basically yes, this is what the chain looks like, sprocket, and this is what a new sprocket looks like. And this is the part number, and there is a price, 379 rupees. Finally got this after almost 6-7 months. I ordered this in February, and that would have been the absolute best time to actually change that sprocket, but as luck would have it, there was some delay. I was almost about to buy a new chain set actually, because I was not able to find this, but finally, well, this arrived. So this is a 15 tooth sprocket, and now you would have heard some people mention that the front and rear sprocket should be changed in one go, and along with the chain, and one eats another thing up. But just remember this, I'll cut it short. The front sprocket moves almost 3 times faster or more than the rear one. So the wear and tear on the front one is again 3 times more than on the rear one. So if you take a look at the rear sprocket, maybe you can see it looks brand new. The edges and everything are just new. You can see the edges from back here as well, a bit dirty, but I hope you can see that. The second test is that if you try and lift it, you should not be able to see the other side. So if I try and lift it, as you can see, it is not coming. So the chain is, I cannot see on the other side. So the chain is good, the rear sprocket is good. The only thing is that at this point the bike has done, I'll be very honest so that I can show you later as well. How much has it done? 16,600. So ideally, yeah, around 15,000 would have been maybe a better idea, but 16,000 is good enough. And this would simply add to the life, because a worn out front sprocket will also wear out the chain itself. And that is a big problem. If you continue riding this, maybe this chain would have a lifespan of about 2022. You change the sprocket and you're looking at close to maybe, I don't know, you properly maintain it, a lot more. The front, if the chain is getting worn off because of the worn off front sprocket, again the chain impacts the rear sprocket and the rear sprocket. There's a lot of things. So good idea to consider changing if it is getting to this point at about say 12 to 14, 15, 16 in my case, if the bike was just standing because of whatever. But yeah, let's change it. So first of all, we'll be removing this. This is 30 mm socket. Let me get that. So this is not a very time consuming job, but a lot of things have to be done. First of all, the front sprocket has to be opened, then the chain link has to be removed, then the rear spindle has to be again loosened, chain has to be put forward, because again the new sprocket would bring the chain a lot closer. So that has to be readjusted. I'll show you later. This will come a bit forward. But to start, first off, I'll just be, there is no need, but I just prefer it. So I'm just using some WD-30, WD-40, sorry. And just pouring in some here as I continue to explain what all is going. Let me clean that. That's not good. Should not enter, yeah. So now this is important. First off, yeah, we'll be using chisel kind of a hammer. A screwdriver can also come in handy. Now you see this part, that is kind of a safety nut. So I've just made some space and I'll be just straightening it out now. Basic stuff, you just need a hammer to just make it flat. That looks flat enough. Now we can start working on this. Now let me tell you, 30 mm socket will be required, if you can read that. But this is not going to work. These are tightened just too damn much. This will not work. I can try and waste some time, but this will not. So you need either a long handle. Some things say you put this on this, then use a handle like this, which is longer, but I don't have a long steel tube or anything, or a breaker bar if you have that. I don't have that either. But what I beautifully have is an old what is it, torque wrench. And the beauty of this torque wrench is that on this side, if you look at it, this can be used as a breaker bar as well, even though it's not like this is in spec or I'm going to ruin anything here. This is almost 4 or 5 years old and this has done its job. I'm not even interested in getting it recalibrated. But the point is, if on one side it just moves and adjusts when it used to adjust, give the torque readings, on the other side this can work as a breaker bar. So yeah, comes in handy. So I'll just be using this. Now again, this is not going to be very easy to break loose, even with a longer, even though this is not that long. You can attach that to the back. But the point is, do not put the bike on gear to lock it. The best idea is just to somehow ask one of your friends to put pressure on the rear brake. Trust me, it's going to be enough. But since I don't have a friend right here right now, I'll just be using a block. I'll just wedge it between the brake and this, and probably this will hold up. But you get the point. The rear wheel is not moving anymore. Now, so yeah, as you see the arrow here, that means that this is for torquing. But since I will not be, I just have to use this. Bring it here. Now I can use it, and with a lot of force with both hands should be able to, you can see the chain is trying to move, but yeah, so okay, yeah, so this is loose. Now I can use this spanner, free it out. So as you can see, I have freed it quite a bit out. Rest can be removed from the hand. I have I've taken this wooden block out from the brake as well. Now we have to move to the next part. Remove the chain link. There it is. Where is my plier? My God. Found it. Now again, it has been brought in previous posts that rather than fiddling around with it here, you can move it here and then easily just remove it. It's up to you. No harm in doing that. Gives you good leverage. So please continue to do that. So think that I'm doing that as well. Let me get the link out. With the 24mm socket, I have just loosened it. Don't have to remove it. We'll be loosening these completely though. Have shared that before in the chain setting video as well. 12mm to hold the inner one. Loosen this one, bring it out completely. So if you can see, I've loosened it. Back to the front. Now this plate should move out. And this is gonna take some wiggling. There you go. Maybe some WD-40 would do the trick. Yeah, so here we have it. And there you have the new one. So you can see clearly that there is enough damage. The chain is okay. This is going to roll okay in the chain. That's not going to be a problem. Putting in the new one is not going to be a problem. Should go in easily. Here you go. Then this spacer come lock will go in. Then this, some rust in there, that should be okay. Okay, and we will roll the chain back. So as you can see, I've just brought these out so that wheel can be moved in. It's not going to be very easy, but it is quite easy actually. You just have to, you can't push it back in, that's not gonna work. So all you need to do is just hit it like this and this, and the wheel will go in if everything inside is well greased. I hope you get the point. So I'm just securing these brackets with tape so that these don't at least keep falling. Same will be done on the other side. And now when I hit it from the either side, yeah, the chain has been put back on. That went in. Yeah, that's good. Now I'll just hold the tire here with the hand and tighten it, otherwise this will fall back again. Rest will be tightened later once the chain has been adjusted. Now let's hope that this much was enough to bring the chain. This was indeed enough. Do grease the links before you put them back in. So let me grease them. So here we have it. The link is back in. The sprocket is back there. Now we will adjust the chain before we tighten the front sprocket, and so we'll adjust the chain first. Okay, just the basics. So I'll be equally tightening this one, moving it up like here. So if I'm doing say this much here, then I'll again do the same there right away, rather than waiting again and again and at the end doing it. So I've discussed that in the chain, but please go ahead and look at that. Same way I'll be adjusting this one now. Now again, back to tightening the main axle, that sprocket nut. So I've adjusted the chain for now. Final I'll do it once I've tightened this one. But now again, going back to this. So that was enough for this one. Now I'm going to be using this. Okay, the rear wheel was spinning. I don't know whether you checked it or not. I need to reinsert that. Let's give it another try now. Okay, that's not going anywhere now. Now for the final part again, this spacer come lock. This has to be put back in. Maybe should start with a smaller screwdriver. That should give it a start. Basically have to hammer at the top of it to bring it down. If you use very edged one, it does get ruined, so that's why I'm trying to use a bigger one. Yeah, that's doing it. Yeah, I've removed the wood from the other side as well. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's the idea. I need to mention at this point that if you can get this way off, and you can see on the other side through the gear and the chain, and if your chain is showing too much of movement sideways, this much is still okay, I need to adjust it. But if it is doing that, and at that point you change the front sprocket, and it is not going to work, because that means that the chain has gone, this rear sprocket is also gone, like as I said, if you cannot see these teats. So at that point, if you change it, it is just gonna eat up the front sprocket in no time, and you would be wasting money. So at that time, it's better that you just change the entire set. Usually I would say that would come somewhere after, I don't know, 20,000 kilometers, the chain would be at that point. So yeah, that is why it is important that you change the front sprocket at the right time. So rest is easy. I'll just be putting that back up. I'll be taking it for a short ride. We'll start in one ignition. Well, let's see. It did. It did. Now let it warm up. I've again been playing around with some settings. I'll share those later. But yeah, one thing that you will notice after changing the sprocket is again smoother gear shifts. very less chain noise as well, and you get that kind of firmness while you change the gears. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, doing good. Now of course, need to recheck the chain. I'll check that again. So yeah, please consider changing the front sprocket after every, keep a lookout. 14, 15, 16 should be okay. Between 12 to 14. This was way too worn, to be very honest. This was way too worn. I should have had bought 2 of these, considering that these are so hard to get by. But if you can, yeah, please go ahead and change them. Okay, that was it. Thanks. Bye.